Hi guys, this is Adam again with Adrenaline Cycles coming at you with a video today. This is one of our first 2023 models as far as X3s go, and we wanted to show you this model because one, it is the new 135 horsepower DS model, and also it is the Catalyst Gray model new for this year, and I wanted you guys to be able to see it and not rely on the website from Can-Am to get the idea of the color. Before we jump over here on this, let me get you guys to hit that like and subscribe down below, so you guys can stay up to date with all the cool stuff we have coming, especially with 23 models coming in. We'll be doing quite a few walk-arounds on those. We'll start here at the front. Not a lot changed on this unit. Some of the things I did notice when we was at the dealer show, and obviously here, is there like a texture coating on these A-arms now. They're not just like a gloss black. In years past, they were just smooth gloss. Now they're like a texture on there. It doesn't affect anything. In my opinion, I think it looks a little better because I think some of the cleaners really affected the gloss, smooth texture on that. Some other things, that still carried over on the DS models. You don't get the signature lights. You can add them to them if you want. The plugs is all down there and they'll go right in. They still are using the Carnivore on a non-beadlock rim. It's a 14-inch on a 30-inch Carnivore. So now we'll talk a little bit about the color. The biggest thing on the color, like I said, is they call it a Catalyst Gray, and to me, looking at it at the dealer show, it's a white. So I'll show you guys here. I brought out just a white card, just a white piece of paper, and I'll put it on this. And I mean, you can see there is a color difference. I don't know if I'd call it, Catalyst Gray or whatever BRP is. I mean, it's still a lot of a white color to me. So it's not, it's more white than gray. So if you're looking at it online, it's a little hard to tell. But here in person, like I said, it does lend more to the lighter gray, a really light gray in my opinion. Some other features, didn't change again. You still got the QR3 shocks here where you just click them to your setting that you prefer, 1, 2, or 3. So both those are that way on this. You can click them to set them wherever you want. Just standard stuff there. Some other changes they done on this to get it to 135 horsepower. They did not add an intercooler. I know that was a lot of discussion topic, early on when this model got released. So it does not have an intercooler. It does have the new ECU like in the 2022 RR model. So it does have that. So it changed from the past. It also has the bigger injectors out of the RR model. It also has a bigger turbo impeller that's really similar to the RR models. And it also has the plastic intake plenum was different from the 120s to the 200 RR models. And this one got that new plenum as well. Those things are really hard to see here, guys. Like I said, we'll come back here and I will show you that it doesn't have an intercooler. But outside of that, I mean, it's really hard to show you the rest of the stuff. But like I said, it's just like a regular, last year's model 120. They just got the little block off plate here. I'm going to tell you, tuning is going to be the same way as it is with the RRs. It's going to be extremely hard to get that done. Evo will be doing it, but it's going to be a waiting list on that as well. So that kindly sucks. It is what it is. Some things they carried over. Obviously, it's got the knuckles that it had in 22 with the double shear on the outside. And it does have the bigger bolted plate on the back. You got 2 extra bolts on top and 2 on the bottom, and that's indicative of how it was last year as well. So they kept that around, which is good. The extra, support and strength to the back plate's always nice to have. Again, guys, these are all smart lock machines that carried over from the same as last year. The horsepower upgrade, driving this one around is really smooth. It did get the P-drive clutch this year, so you guys will be sharing that with the RR models. It got a lot of the upgrades that the RR got last year, like like I said, with the new ECU, the bigger injectors, and the turbo impeller. It's got all that stuff going for it that was on the RR last year. They moved it over to the 135 horsepower, which is still a bargain at the price that it's at. Lower 20s $20,000, 21, 22, somewhere in there. I'm not for sure, guys. I mean, every dealer's charging different, so I don't even know what to tell you. MSRP, I tell you, but they charge more than that. So it's a great unit, especially if you're looking to get in the X3 game. And you know, with the smart lock, I think it's made this machine a lot more appealing to a lot of different buyers. And then just the added horsepower and things is really nice. One thing I did notice driving it around, the smoothness of the P drive and the quietness was pretty good, but the steering seems a little better this year. So again, I don't know if they've turned up the amp on that to let it have more, you know, assisting in it, but it definitely felt smoother than even last year's 120 horsepower model. Again, some of the colorations, like I said, on this Catalyst Gray, this I'm going to call like a coppery gold color. And it's just got that little accent on the doors and on the little gas cap decals there. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's just on there in my opinion. It doesn't add. It doesn't subtract from the overall machine. But outside of that, all in all, guys, it's a really good machine. And I think everyone that's looking for an X3 that doesn't want to spend, you know, $30,000, these 135s are going to be a really fun machine, a really economical machine, and get you guys out there and the performance that you're, you know, used to seeing from a Can-Am, and all of this machine is going to be able to do that for you. One last thing to touch on too is the headlight switch on these is like the RR models, so you'll have to press it down for a few seconds to turn it off, and it will always come on anytime you start the machine. And that's indicative on like the RR models of 2022 and again 2023. So like I said, guys, they are doing a lot of upgrades to this machine to get it to where, you know, you get a lot of side by side for your buck. You know, a lot of other competitors out there in the market right now are touting non-turbo machines for more than this, and I don't get it. You know, yeah, manufacturer can MSRP whatever they want out of it, but I think at the end of the day, when you're looking at a machine that has less horsepower, less travel, pretty much less everything, and a higher price tag, I don't understand it. And again, you know, not everybody, you know, some people just love a Kawasaki and is going to buy it no matter what. Some people love a Polaris, going to buy it no matter what. Some people love a Can-Am, going to buy it no matter what. But, you know, for a lot of people out there, you're trying to get the most trail capable machine you can get and spend money on accessories and not have to spend money on necessities. And what I mean by that, you know, do you got to lock your diff? You know, do you got to go out and buy tires right out of the gate? Do you got to, you know, turn up the tuning and get more power out of your 100 horsepower non-turbo, non-supercharged machine? Well, I've been, you know, riding stuff my whole life, guys, and if you're in something that doesn't have a turbo or doesn't have a supercharger, without cracking the motor, I'm telling you, the best gains you're going to get is going to be 10 horsepower probably, and that's through a tune and exhaust. Until you start cracking in and get changing the cams and big bores and stuff like that. I mean, I've done it all back in the day on ATVs and early Polarises and stuff like that. You just can't get the power you can out of a turbo machine. So take that in consideration. If you're going to buy a machine, you're going to keep it a while, and you're buying something that's non-turbo, the performance you got is pretty much what you're going to have to live with. It's not going to be tunable like on one of these turbo models where you can go from 135 to 200 horsepower with basically an intercooler and a tune. And like I said, you don't have to buy a whole new machine because you built this one the way you want it. You can tune the power the way you want it after you get used to it. So there's a lot of advantages to buying, you know, a DS model from Can-Am. And they also offer these in the 200 horsepower too, full-on RR edition, and those models are out there. We've done really well on the 22 side of that, selling the 200 horsepower DS models, because they're still, again, a really good value and does the job really well with the 200 horsepower. And they got the P drive, which now, like I said, 23 X3 wise, everything does have the P drive, so you come out really well on that. I know everybody before was wanting to swap to a P drive. Well, now you get it right out of the gate, so that's a good option to have as well. I guess that's about it, guys. Like I said, the interior didn't change much. I mean, you got, you know, stock black seats, which are always nice. You know, regular seat belts on these, which we always opt for the harnesses, which they got built-in mounts for those. Again, you got you know, just a lower door opening here. You do get a rear view mirror, which is nice to have on this model. You got your controls easy to get to. You got your trail lock, trail active, and all that. And then your headlight, your override switch, everything in there. These units are coming in right now ready to run. So we're not having any issues with getting parts because most of these come in ready to go right out of the gate. And we've been pretty fortunate. I think I've gotten 6 or 8 of these 135 horsepowers in the last probably week. And I think this one was the last one needing parts, and we got the parts for it. So they are here. The 2 seats are available. They are trickling in. Don't have any 23 RRs yet. But driving this thing around and, you know, just feeling how it does compared to a 22, it definitely has its advantages. Not a lot, but it does have some, and that's something to keep in mind when you're out there shopping right now. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. And if you have any questions, maybe something I didn't go over here, or you got a question about it, go ahead and ask in the comments. I do answer those myself. I check them about every morning when I get here at the shop. So I'll try to answer it and give you guys any help on anything that you might have a question about. As always, guys, stay safe and make it back home just like you went, in one piece. No factory OEM belt. This belt with XRC or XMR. We'll start here at the front. This is a bumper we have made. Style hose, the part number we give you. We'll get this done.